な状態のママにご飯作ってもらうの待つ？やっぱ食べて1日ぐらいは変わった味をと思わんの。
Hey everybody, welcome to Japanese from Zero. Today, me and my wife, who you never get to see, we're going to be analyzing a little girl named Ryo-chan. So there's this little girl speaking amazing Japanese, and I started binging through a bunch of her videos, and she's genius. It's just a 1 minute like TikTok style video, but it's brilliant, and I split it up into like 14 parts that we can analyze, okay? This is Ryo-chan yelling at her father. Here we go. これさ、私が聞くとバパに聞こえるんだよね。
いや、パパって聞こえると。うん。
パパ。
パで、あーが濁点っぽい。でも最初破裂でパって言ってると思うよ。
まあ、それは耳の違いだな。とりあえず、right now she's yelling at her father, and you're probably thinking, wait, she's saying papa, but also you might have learned お父さん or 父さん or 父ちゃん。ゆかりは自分のお父さんのことなんて呼んでたの？
ちっちゃい頃はお父ちゃん。
お父ちゃん。お父
いつの時代。
でもありはありだよね。
いや、まあね、昔っていうイメージ。
うん。これは地域によってもお父とか言わない？
どうだろう。なんかテレビの中の昔のドラマ。
なるほど。I don't think that they actually say Dada in Japan, but my daughters called me Dada. Okay, お母さんのことなんて呼んでたの？
お母ちゃん。
お母ちゃん。Here we go. Next segment.
ママのこの体勢見て何も思わんの？
All right, let's listen one more time.
ママのこの体勢見て何も思わんの？
Okay, so we're going to analyze. This is starting with 体勢. 体勢 means the position of your body, like the position of a body. 体勢. Okay? ママのこの体勢. この体勢 means this position. ママのこの体勢見て何も思わんの. So this is Kansai dialect だよね? Kansai?
まあ関西地方じゃないかな。
結構関西弁じゃないけど関西弁に近いっていうのがよくあるよね。関西を中心にしたら。
どうだろう。
微妙に違いがあると思うけど。So here's the thing you might not know. Kansai area is like surrounding like the Osaka area, okay? And there's this dialect called Kansai dialect. And 1/6 of Japan speak this dialect or a form of that dialect. So knowing this dialect actually will help your Japanese. If you ever watch any anime, there's always going to be at least one of those Kansai dialect characters, and they tend to be like rough and wild. They don't speak super polite. They're just they're more American feeling. I always think Kansai people are more like American feeling. But anyway, I believe she's speaking some form of Kansai dialect. So back to her. So nanmo is short for nanimo. Nanmo. So you could say nanimo nai, there is nothing, or nanmo nai, there's nothing. Nanmo omoan no. Omoan is short for omoanai. So you can say omoanai, don't you think? Omoan, omoanai, to not think something. So nanimo omoanai would mean to not think anything. Mama no kono taisei mite, looking at this position of mama. Okay, she's referring to her mother as mama. Nanmo omoan no. You don't think anything of this? Like, what are you thinking when you look at this position? You don't think anything? ちょっと言ってくれます？
ママのこの体勢見て何も思わんの？
So obviously the mother is laying down and she's like, when you look at her, don't you think anything when you see mom in this position?
かわいい。
いや、可愛いとかそういう問題じゃなくてさ。
I love that we paused on this face.
かわいい。
いや、可愛いとかそういう問題じゃなくてさ。
All right, so the father says, cute, looks cute. And she says, いや、可愛いとかそういう問題じゃなくてさ。One more time.
かわいい。
いや、可愛いとかそういう問題じゃなくてさ。
So we've got this first thing. いや。Ya is used when you're going to say something opposing what the person said. It's like saying, no. When someone says something that you disagree with, you say, ya. Now, there's another version of ya that you'll hear a lot. It just means no or I don't want to. Ya. そんなの、ya. This is a little bit different than that. It's like saying no in a way. かわいいとか、かわいいとか。とか here means it's like an or and an and, often used as an or and an and, but here it's saying, no, nothing like かわいい. Not like cute, because he says she's cute. No, かわいいとか, no, not cute. そういう問題じゃなくてさ、そういう問題, those type of issues or those type of problems, そういう問題. This そういう can be こういう、どういう、ああいう depending on the position of the listener and the speaker. And you could have どういう to mean what type of. But here she's saying those type of issues じゃなくて not. じゃなくて not being those type of issues.
ではなくて、ね。
Yeah, じゃない is short or like a crunched up version of ではない. It's like saying it's not. じゃない. ではない. ではありません also would work too, but that's a little bit way too much formal for a family here. So じゃなくてさ, what's the sa doing? Sa is just adding emotion to the statement. さあなんて説明したらいいんだろう?
コンティニューする感じじゃなくて、なんとかつなぎにさ入れてる感じ。
この子はよく使うからね、さあここだけじゃなくてすごい使うの。This little girl uses sa all the time.
でさの後に何か文章が来る感じ。
There's something else coming. Yeah, it's like a
次なんかある
次
から。
何かがあるから聞いてください。要は言葉挟まないでくださいっていうツールでも使えるよね。
それか考えてみてって相手に言う時も、そういう問題じゃなくてさって言ったら、あ、そういうなんか次のを期待されてるか彼女が言おうとしてるかどっちかだと思うけど。
あなたもよく使うと思うんだこれ。If you want to use sa, like let's say I'm talking to Yukari and say, Yukari wa sa, so yeah, like, okay, so Yukari, there's a tone in our English voice would be like, okay, like, you know, the other day, like, この間さ, the other day, you would use that to kind of like position it, I would say. I don't know how else to explain it. We never had a lesson on this, so I haven't really thought too much about it. But that's what I think it does, kind of like something else is getting ready to come. Let's listen one more. Oh, no, we can't listen one more time because we already passed it. Here we go. Next thing. So she says, いや、可愛いとか、そういう問題じゃなくてさ. No, what do you mean cute? It's like, cute? No, it's not that sort of thing at all.
これって毎日のご飯作りのヒントさやで。
おう
This is probably the cutest line. なんか言ったことの中でこれが一番可愛いと思うんだよね。
これって毎日のご飯作りのヒントさやで。
あとこのさ、この目、カメラを見て確認してるよね。見て。
これって毎日のご飯作りのヒントさやで。
おう
She's so cute. The way like her eyes are just checking the screen. これって毎日のご飯作りのしんどさやで。Alright, let's go through it. これって this thing that we're talking about, これって this te thing is marking everything that's come up until now. This te is super common to mark the thing. It's almost like a wa in terms of marking a topic, but it's just marking everything behind it. This situation where the mother is laying down and he's not thinking anything of it. これって so this 毎日の means every day, and 毎日の connects it to the next statement. 毎日の every day something something. ご飯作り. ご飯作り means to make a meal. Okay, ご飯 is like a meal or a dinner. It also means rice, cooked rice. And then 作り is the noun form of the verb 作る to make. So ご飯作り means making meals. これって毎日の every day making meals every day. No, we're still connecting. So 毎日のご飯作り no, we still haven't got to the main thing. Everything from here down to here is connecting to しんどさやで. So the next word is しんどい。しんどい。ここで質問があります。
はい。
金子先生もよくしんどいとか言うんだけども、これが関西弁での、要は大阪とかあの辺で使ってるような言葉なのかなと思って。
多分そうだと思う。
なんかね、これ東京の人がしんどいって言うのかなと思ったりしてね。
いや、うちの親はよく言う。
よく言うよね。だからこれはちょっと関西エリアならの言葉だよね。
ならではの言葉。
So しんどい means I'm tired, I'm exhausted. しんどい. Okay? But what is しんどさ? That's super powerful. Let's look at it. If you take any adjective, remove the e and add a sa, you make an attribute. You make the adjective into an attribute or a sort of a noun, right? So let's look at how we can do it. So for example, if you have hiroi, hiroi means wide, but if we take off the e and add sa, hirosa, it means width. So the width of something. Same thing with nagai. Nagai means long, but if we remove the e and add sa, nagasa means length. Length, okay? There's some weird ones, like atsui means hot, and atsusa means heatness or the heat. 今年の夏の暑さは去年の夏の暑さと違う. Like the heat of this year's summer is different from last year's heat. So we've taken atsui and made it into an attribute or a noun. 面白いよね? Hi. So my wife's totally doing something different.
いやそうですね
She's not used to being on the show. Shindoi means I'm tired, but shindosa means the tiredness, the weariness. Okay? So this thing, you know, is the weariness of making a meal every day. But what's yade do here? Yade is just dayo. So we have this Kansai ben, Kansai dialect, but you also have Hyojungo, which is the standard Japanese. That's what you're all learning on like Japanese from zero, or if you're studying in any other book, you're using, almost everyone's learning standard Japanese. Now on FromZero.com, we do have a whole video course called Kansai Dialect from Zero if you want to learn more about this. But this is the most basic. Yade is dayo. And if you remember, yo just is like a little bit of a, not an exclamation, but it's giving a little bit more emotion, a little bit more strength to what they're saying. So she's saying, shindosa yade, shindosa dayo. The reason why her mother is in this position is the weariness of her making food all day, every day, I mean. Moving on. In Kansai dialect, remember I was saying that day is a yo. So if we want to say, hey, I'm going, ikuyo, I'm going, or we're going. If you want to say it in Kansai dialect, you say, iku de.
はい
言ってください。
行くで
Iku de. All right. This is the tiredness from making food every single day. All right, moving on.
ちょっと待って。
え
まさかやけど、まさかとは思うけど、
なんや
Let's listen one more time.
ちょっと待って。
え
まさかやけど、まさかとは思うけど、
なんや
So she says, ちょっと待って. Hey, wait a second. ちょっと待って. Wait a second. Masaka yakedo. Now remember, the ya is a da. Okay? So masaka dakedo in Hyojungo, in standard Japanese. Masaka yakedo. Masaka means like, wait a minute, there's no way, but unbelievable. No, not possible. Masaka. Okay? And then she restates masaka. Masaka to wa omou kedo. I think this is probably not possible or not something you would do.
ちょっと待って。
え
まさかやけど、まさかとは思うけど、
なんや
So she's prefacing the next thing she's going to say. You learn early on that kedo means but it's also used to just introduce information. So even though it's masaka kato omou kedo, it doesn't mean but I think this could be impossible. It means this is the preface information that I'm getting ready to say something else. This is the beginning of more information. So masaka to wa omou kedo, this is probably impossible. Well, I guess the but does work there, but there's other times where it doesn't. For example, if you said, so yeah, I went to my friend's house the other day. この間友達の家に行ったんだけど, and I have the kedo there, but it doesn't mean but. It just means this was information that I'm giving you. All right. So masaka, I already said, means it's like unbelievable, implausible. Yakedo is just dakedo. Masaka to wa, if you think something, it's to omo, right? To omo. With the wa coming directly after the to, you're putting stress, you're putting emphasis on this. I think it's impossible, but. So she's putting a lot of stress on this. Masaka to wa omou kedo. What does she think is impossible?
もしかしてさ、パパって
This is a longer segment, but I had to split it up. So, もしかしてさ、パパって。
もしかしてさ、パパって
All right. So we got もしかして, which means, is it perhaps possible? もしかして, is it perhaps possible? もしかしてさ, this is again her just like a placeholder for more words to come. パパって. Now this is introducing him again as the topic. Everything after the chisai tsu, after this little small tsunate, everything after that makes it all about papa. Okay? Everything we're getting to say about papa. Now remember, a lot of times you can't cleanly translate something in Japanese to English. In English, we'd probably have to hear the next sentence. Japanese, we're getting ready to talk about papa. And she could have said, by the way, papa te sa. And I could say to you, Yukari te sa. So, hey, Yukari, you blah, blah, blah. I'm setting it up. It's just a way to get her attention.
こんな状態のママにご飯作ってもらうの待っちゃうよ。
Actually, this might be the most cute. これが一番可愛いかもね。
こんな状態のママにご飯作ってもらうの待っちゃうの。
And the way she's looking at her dad.
これ多分マッチョルンってが入ってる気がするな。
もう一回聞く。
こんな状態のママにご飯作ってもらうの待っちゃうの。
マッチョンに聞こえるよね、逆に。
いやマッチョルンって言ってると思うけど、マッチョルだけでもいいけど。
多分この YouTube のビデオの字幕もマッチョルだったと思う。
こんな状態のママにご飯作ってもらうの待っちゃうの。
本当よね。
マッチョルン。Yeah, there could be an un after that. Because it would be マッチョルのマッチョルン。Alright, anyway, let's go through it. So こんな状態のママにご飯作ってもらうのマッチョル。There's a ton of grammar in here. こんな means this amount of, right? こんな this or this state of something. So こんなそんなあんなこんな状態means condition. こんな状態 means this condition. No mama. So we're talking about mother. Mother in this condition に for mother in this condition ご飯を作る. Remember earlier we had ご飯作ってもらう is the bigger sentence there, but we had ご飯作り before, which meant the noun version of making dinner. But now we have this verb ご飯を作る, which means to make dinner, and it's turned into て form plus もらう. When you have て form plus もらう, it means to have something done for you. Think about it this way. もらう means receive. So you receive the benefit of someone doing it for you. So ご飯作ってもらうの. Okay, to have someone make you a meal. ご飯作ってもらう means to have someone make you a meal. Okay, so for example, if someone asked me like, what did you eat today? I could say, 奥さんにご飯作ってもらいました. I had my wife make me dinner. Or direct translation, receive the benefit of my wife making dinner for me. So now let's look at what this little no is doing. And I want to change the verb up just to make it, this no here is doing something really important, but it seems like very tiny, but it's actually really important. So let's look at what it's doing. First, let's just take another verb, miru, to look. This is the verb to look, but if we say miru no, in this case, it would mean looking. It makes it into like a verb phrase, looking. So for example, once I have this, I could say, 見るのが趣味です. Looking or watching is my hobby. 見るのが趣味です. So for example, 映画を見るのが趣味です. Watching movies is my hobby. Or we could just say 見るのが楽しい. Looking is fun or watching is fun. So once we have this noun phrase made out of a verb, this verb noun phrase, we can do whatever we want with it. That's exactly what she's doing. ご飯作ってもらうの, but she's got like a ton more grammar stacked into it. ご飯作ってもらうの means having someone make you dinner. ご飯作ってもらうの is itself no longer a verb. It's now a noun phrase, meaning having someone make you dinner. What about it? 待っちょる. Let's look what that is. 待つ means to wait. 待っています in standard Japanese and 標準語 is waiting. That becomes in informal standard Japanese 待ってる, waiting. But in Kansai dialect, it becomes 待っとる. And in this version of her Japanese, it's 待っちょる, which I guess is cute.
これ方言だと思う。あともらうのを待ってる。
まあ、おが普通あるよね。それ最後に言おうかなと思ってたんだけど。Okay, so 待っちょる is just another version of 待っとる and it is 100% a dialectual thing. So 待っちょる is the same as saying 待っていますか? 待ってるの? And again, she could be saying 待っちょるん. We're not exactly sure. And if we were going to take this actual phrase, this o, there should be an o here, showing that there's an object. And the object that he's waiting for, the thing he's waiting for is waiting for someone to make him a meal. So if we look at the whole context, it's mom in this state. If we look backwards, when you're translating, always look from the back. It's easier. Are you waiting for mama in this state to make you a meal? In this state, are you waiting for mom to make you a meal? Very harsh, critical words. I feel bad for this father.
ご飯作ってもらおうとしよる
The way she looks at the camera too. All right, so he says which is informal for yeah.
ご飯作ってもらおうとしよる
もらおうとだよね。おが抜けてる。
もらおうだった?
でもらおうと。
作ってもらおうとしよる
本当だ. Okay, I have a typo here. This should be ご飯作ってもらおうとしよる?
ご飯作ってもらおうとしよる
So とする means trying to do something. Is this something you're trying to do? she's saying としている right? But in Kansai dialect, are you trying to do 年取る became 年寄る。大変だよね、これね。日本語を勉強してる人にとっては。If you don't know Kansai dialect, or at least how it sounds, you're gonna have a hard time. Honestly. 大変だよね。関西弁知らないと難しいよね。
うん、でもこれは多分ね、関西弁って言ってもちょっと地域が限られてるところだと思うけど、まあ想像しながら。
でも私は聞いて別に違和感ないんだよ。これすごいわかる。関西弁がわかるから。なんかこれ関西弁の一部だなと思っちゃったりするんだよね。私から見ると。
まあね。
作ってもらう。So this would be 作ってもらおう。So もらおうとする。So I don't like saying this, but volitional form plus とする means trying to do a thing. Let's say I was talking to myself and I was hungry. I could say, ゆかりに作ってもらおう。I'm going to have Yukari cook it for me. So when you do volitional form to yourself, it's almost like saying something that you're going to do. It's like saying, I'm going to do this thing. It says what you're going to do. So for example, you're saying to yourself, I got to do a lot of work tomorrow. I got to go to the post office. But man, if I go today, it's going to ruin my day. You know what? 明日行こう. That doesn't mean let's go tomorrow. It means I'm going to go tomorrow. 明日行こう. So she's asking her father, she's saying, are you trying to get her to make food for you? ご飯作ってもらおうと。Shioru, okay, Kansai dialect or some form of it. Moving on.
こんな状態のママにやっぱせめて1日ぐらいは変わってあげようと思わんの
All right, so we're going to split this up a little bit. I don't have two screens. The very first part of this, we're going to just translate raw.
こんな状態のママに
この状態のままに means to mom in this state. She's repeating back to what she already said. In this state, you're going to have her make it? What?
やっぱせめて1日ぐらいは変わってあげようと思わんの
So here I would say that yasa, no, but it's like that. And it's like, no, but wait, yasa, no. Like she's pushing back on what he said.
こんな状態のママにやっぱせめて1日ぐらいは変わってあげようと思わんの
All right, let's go through it. せめて一日.
こんな状
Oh my
態のマ
God.
マにやっぱせめて1日ぐらいは変わってあげようと思わんの
せめて一日. せめて means at a minimum. So at a minimum, one day. 一日ぐらい about. For at least one day. せめて一日くらい for at least one day. For a minimum one day. 変わる means to change. Now, we had... どうした
変わるって感じ
間違ってる
と思う。こっち人弁に
ちょっと待ってビデオもう一回見よ
こんな状態のママに
うこっち見てこっち
やっぱせめて1日ぐらいは変わってあげよう
いやこれだよほら同じ
本当だ。
同じ一応ビデオ通りにしてるからね
でも間違ってると思うよ。
Alright, so apparently this might be the wrong kanji. It might be this one that I'm showing right here. 変わる
代表の代だ。
Alright, so the good news is, guys, even Japanese people make mistakes, and I just copied that mistake right up here. 変わってあげようと So anyway, ignore the kanji mistake for now. Here's the important part of this. Before we had te morao, and te morao means to receive the benefit of somebody doing something, whatever that verb is. Here it's to give the benefit. Kawaru is to change, to take their place. Ageru is to give them the benefit of you changing. Couldn't you, at least for one day, take her place? Omoanno, don't you think that even for one day, you could take her place? 前はさ、朝ごはん作るときに、一時的に私がベーコンだけやってたよね。So my wife makes bacon every morning, and for a while, she had me tricked into being the guy that made the bacon, and then I don't know what happened, but I stopped.
あなたがやめたんだよ。私が止めたわけじゃない。
大丈夫ベーコン食べ過ぎだよ。
私一回も食べてないのに。
あ、食べてないのあなた作ってるやつ。なんで
ベーコンは体に
悪い。でもここでゲホゲホ言ってるのはあなただよ。 はい、じゃあ続き
確かに
行こうぜ。So she asks, don't you consider that you could take even one day to change, like on her behalf, to do it for her? And he says, 思っとる。I'm thinking that.
思っとる。
思っとるんなら作れよ。
思っとるなら This nara is really
思っ
powerful.
とる。
思っとるんなら作れよ。
思ってるなら if you're thinking so. So nara makes any verb into an if. It's not the only if form. There's other if forms in Japanese. But you can just put this on any verb form. Iku nara if you're going to go. Taberu nara if you're going to eat. Omotteru nara if you are thinking that. And let's look at this. Tsukure. Tsukure comes from tsukuru, to make. And normally the command form that you first learn in Japanese is tsukutte, make it. And if we could throw a little kudasai on there to make it tsukutte kudasai, please make it. Or just tsukutte, make it. But tsukure itself is one of the strongest, probably the strongest way to say do something. Tsukure. Make it. It's a strong command form. We can do it with other verbs too. For example, if we have iku, iku goes to ike. Hopefully you see the pattern. It goes to e form. Ku goes to ke. Ru went to re. Shinu to die. You'll probably hear this in anime. Shine, die. They're commanding them to die. Shine. But, however, not all verbs do that. Those are all regular verbs that do that. Or what they also call the godan verbs. The godan verbs always go to e form. But iru, eru verbs like taberu or miru go to ro. Tabero. It would not be tabere. Keep that in mind. Remember that. That might become important later on. So what does it all mean? Omotteru nara. Omottoru nara. If you think that way, then make it. Makes it even stronger with the yo on the end here. Tsukureo. Make it.
はい。
あ、はい。
はい、おちきんけ。
Hayo, she says chicken. Not kitchen. But hayo kitchen ike.
はい。
あ、はい。
はい、おちきんけ。
Hayo, I didn't confirm this with anybody, but I think this is just Kansai dialect for hayaku da yo ne.
早く、うん、
Hayaku da yo ne. So she says, yeah, kitchen is a kitchen. But if you learn Japanese, you might learn daidokoro. That also means kitchen, like a place where you have your dais, your platforms. Place of platforms. So she says chicken though. Has nothing to do with kitchen. That might be like a family thing that they do. 実際間違えたか、家族の中で可愛く言ってるのか。
いや間違えたんだと思
間違えたと思う？
う、と思うけどね。
私はなんか私たちもあるじゃん、なんか家族の可愛いに日本語って
ない
あるやん。
ない
あるってなんだっけ、うちいっぱいあるじゃない。なんだっけ、いっぱいあるようち。
ないから思い出せないんじゃない？
いやあるよ、だって
いいよもう別に
言いたくないだけだ、言いたくないだけでしょあなたは。
時間がもったいないです
カットできるよこういうの。
時間もったいない
カットできるよ。
できません。
あなたのパート全部カットする。
あもう早く早く。
はよはよ。Next part.
はい。
あ、はい。
はい、おちきんけ。
I played it again so you could hear. I had to hear it a couple times. キッチンって言ってると思ったんだよね。
はい。
あ、はい。
はい、おちきんけ。
でもこっちはちゃんとキッチンってなってるよね。ビデオの字幕では。
はい。
あ、はい。
はい、おちきんけ。
次行こう。So she says, okay, whatever, go to the kitchen now. There's that strong form again. 行け, go. She wants him to make dinner, not the mother.
はい。ちょっと一旦ママと同じぐでたまの体勢になるわ。
All right, this was a hard one initially for me.
はい。ちょっと一旦ママと同じぐでたまの体勢になるわ。
So ちょっと一旦ちょっと. So ちょっと is just a bit. 一旦 is for a brief period of time, but it's also like a filler word, ちょっと. So he's thinking while he's speaking.
はい。ちょっと一旦ママと同じぐでたまの体勢になるわ。
Okay, so we got ちょっと, like I said, it's a filler word, but it can also mean a bit. It also softens phrases. It's often used in front of a phrase to like soften it. ちょっと行きます. I'm gonna go. It doesn't mean for a bit, it just means they say it to soften it. Matter of fact, you know, if you're talking to a Japanese person and you, like, let's say you invite a girl out to go eat or something like that, she might say, 今日はちょっと. It just softens it. Today is a bit. It doesn't have anything to do with a bit. It's her not wanting to tell you no. It's a way to say no to you politely. 一旦は一瞬の時間だよね。ちょっとの間だよね。For a bit. 一旦。So for a bit, 同じ means the same. And this to particle is used when you're doing comparisons with things. The thing that you're comparing it with or as is to. So same as mama. Mama と同じ. Gudetama. Now, I did not know what Gudetama was until I looked it up, but it's a Sanrio character. いつもこうやって旅行になってんのかなGudetama. これさ、卵の黄身かこの子。
そう ぐでってしてる卵っていう意味で、そのキャラクターでぐでたま。
なるほど。
ぐでってしてる。
ぐでっとしてる卵の玉だよね。Alright, so he's the yolk of an egg and he's always laying down like this. That's why he's Gudetama. Alright, so Gudetama no taisei ni naru wa. So there's taisei, position, body position. Just like mom, for a bit, I want to be in the same position as Gudetama. He wants to lay down as well. Ninaru means to be, to become. If you want to become like a pilot, pilotto ninaru. If you want to be a teacher, sensei ninaru. He wants to become this position. And wa just makes it more spicy. だよね。
スパイシー。
Naru wa. It's like it's resolution, resolute. This is the thing I'm going to do. Iku wa. I'm going. So just for a bit, I'm going to be in the same Gudetama position as your mother.
いやちょっと待ってパパ落ちていやちょっと待ってパパ落ちて
Yeah, no. ちょっと待って Wait a minute. Papa. This little ah here is used to extend the sound. Papa. Okite. Another extension here. Normally not used in hiragana. Normally this is a katakana extender, but okite.
いやちょっと待ってパパ落ちて
All right, so okiru to wake up, get up. It's to wake up in the morning and also just to get up from your position that you're in right now. Now, here's my question. This is for the quiz. If she was going to say it's stronger than okite, would she say okire or okiro? All right, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to check out Rio's channel, it's right here at the bottom of the screen. And I think I probably had it on the screen in the very beginning. But check it out. She's actually 6 years old. She looks like she's 3, but she's 6 years old. She has a little bone disease going on, I think, and that makes her growth is stunted, unfortunately. But she's still only 6. And I've binged through so many of her videos. You would be surprised. This baby is a genius. She's an absolute genius. She also speaks Korean, which also blew my mind. All right, see you next time. Bye. Tell me if you want more like this. Bye. Oh, look. It's Yukari's hand. Yukari's hand. Look at how beautiful she is. This is my wife. All right. Bye, guys.